Hi everyone, we are Garbage Gang here on Channel 3 News. Students categorize waste in incorrect bins for landfill, recycle, and compost.
Through personal experience, I've observed that students throw all of their waste away in one bin. Let's throw it to Quentin out in the field to see what he has to say.
Hi there, I'm Quentin. I'm here at the Indiana Memorial Union. Did you know IU sends the vast majority of its waste to landfills when a lot of that waste is compostable? A location where waste is most obviously mismanaged is in our dining halls. Look, here's someone throwing something away now. If only there was something we could do about this. Back to you, Sam.
I heard about the recognition heuristic. You can influence people's behavior by creating a pattern they can easily recognize.
I know what to do. If we put up signs around the trash holes that are the same ones as the ones on the wall, people will follow the pattern and more correctly sort their trash.
We should have our experts run an experiment.
Hi, it's Quentin here in the IMU with our expert Molly. I will be assisting her in conducting this experiment. Molly, would you care to tell us a little bit about what this experiment entails?
Of course. So this experiment will be observing students throwing away their waste into these bins right here. And it's compost, landfill, and recycling. And so we'll be telling each student who throws waste into the compost bin, and if the student doesn't throw their waste away into compost, then we're counting that as landfill waste.
It's been a week since this experiment started. I wonder how it's going.
Why don't we check in on Quentin and Molly to see how the experiment is going? Let's throw it to Quentin back at the IMU.
Is it on? Okay, so last week we observed people putting things in the bins without additional signage. This week we'll be observing how people change their behaviors when exposed to a second set of signs corresponding to the trash holes. These are the signs that we put around the trash bins.
Here are some people now.
Laura and I are here with Molly and Quentin to get the full rundown of the experiment. Will you explain the results of the experiment?
Of course, we found that placing the same colored signs around the bin as the ones hung on the wall created behavioral change, where the student would pause and take longer to figure out where to place their waste. We found a 6% increase in the amount of people who threw their waste into the composting bin.
Can you explain how this saves us any energy?
This saves us energy because our intervention means that 6% more people are going to be putting their waste in the compost bin rather than the trash bins. If we look at this over the course of a year, IU is going to have 25 more tons of compost in their compost bins. Now, if IU were to go try to buy fertilizer from a chemical fertilizer company, that's very energy intensive. And it's actually cheaper for them to make compost fertilizer. It's 58 times less energy for them to just make their own compost. With the amount of energy that they save because of our intervention, as opposed to buying chemical fertilizers, they could run 4 additional composting facilities.
Some of the limitations we encountered during this experiment were lack of information from Sustain IU. They did not provide data that helped to ground this experiment, and they didn't tell us how much compost is produced by each individual building or how much compost material it goes to landfill or the composting plant. We also only did 2 observations and 1 intervention, so we only saw one key thing. We could have also done multiple interventions to see if there's a difference. Additionally, we didn't observe what type of trash people were throwing away. And so this could mean that some of that wasn't composted. So we just weren't sure. So Molly, with your expertise, what would you do differently?
Yeah, of course. So something that should be done differently is, of course, like you mentioned, gathering a larger sample size over a longer period of time for observations. And additionally, we would like to have more information about composting, such as how much IU composts and how much is gathered from each dining area. And lastly, more locations on campus should be included in this experiment because we only observed 1 dining area, which was the IMU on IU's campus. So thank you for watching.